Hey everyone, it's Luke here from LT Gaming and welcome back to the channel. With VE Day just passed and a small Steam festival running on World War II games this week, we thought it was the perfect time to pull together this list of 21 World War II wargames to pick up in 2025. And for me and Tom, this one's personal. Our grandfathers Ernest and Ron both served in the war in Burma, North Africa and Italy, so it's a subject close to our heart. This one's for you guys. As always, I'd love to hear your picks, hidden gems and recommendations down in the comments, so let's get into it.
Steel Division 2 is a serious bit of kit. It's one of the few World War II games that bridges the gap between real-time tactics and full-on operational warfare. And while this one can be a bit overwhelming at first, it rewards the kind of player who enjoys managing chaos with precision. You're deploying historically accurate battle groups across massive real-time battlefields with hundreds of units on screen. Tanks, infantry, artillery and aircraft, all working in tandem under timed deployment phases. And it's not just about throwing numbers forward, positioning, line of sight and timing are everything in this one. What really stands out to me is the scale. You don't just manage a skirmish, you're commanding an entire war machine across multiple fronts. And when a plan comes together, it's genuinely cinematic. The campaign mode adds even more depth, layering turn-based strategy over the real-time battles.
Headquarters World War II is a fast-paced, turn-based strategy game that immerses you in the Battle of Normandy through 3 narrative-driven campaigns and various skirmishes. You'll choose your side, assemble your forces, assign heroes and level up your units, all while utilising unique headquarters skills to outmaneuver the enemy. You should play this if you're seeking a strategy game that's deeply tactical. The game offers an easy-to-learn, hard-to-master approach with mechanics like directional armour, terrain-based line of sight and destructible environments adding layers of depth. Its visually detailed maps and units enhance the immersive experience, making it a standout title for both newcomers and seasoned wargamers.
Strategic Command World War II World at War is a grand strategy game that doesn't try to wow you with visuals. Instead, it focuses on clean, streamlined mechanics wrapped in a global theatre of war. You're commanding everything from diplomacy and research to full-scale military operations across every major front of the Second World War. It's turn-based, hex-based and surprisingly easy to grasp. But don't let that fool you, under the surface there's a lot going on. Fog of war, AI deception, amphibious invasions, logistics chains, all of it feeding into a proper strategic experience. My take on this one is it's one of the most well-balanced global World War II sims out there. It manages to stay readable even when you're managing 5 theatres at once, which is no small feat. And that makes it incredibly replayable. Every decision, tech focus, alliance formation, when to push or delay feels significant.
Sudden Strike 4 brings classic real-time tactics to life with modern polish. You'll command carefully curated forces across historical campaigns, focusing on positioning, ambushes and unit synergy. No base building, just pure battlefield tactics. Choose between different doctrines like infantry, armour or support, each offering unique perks and strategies. You should play this if you're after a tactically rich RTS that rewards precision over production. With its sleek visuals, varied missions and well-crafted scenarios, it delivers a satisfying no-frills tactical experience that puts you right in the commander's seat.
Panzer Corp 2 is probably the most polished, accessible entry point into classic hex-based World War II strategy, and it knows exactly what it's doing. It builds directly on the legacy of Panzer General and the original Panzer Corp, but modernises the visuals and engine without messing with the formula too much. The core gameplay loop is all about efficiency. Move, shoot, reposition, encircle. And when you get it right, it feels like clockwork. There's a huge campaign, tons of historical and alternate history scenarios, and enough unit variety to keep even the most obsessive tactician happy. My take on this one is that it doesn't reinvent the genre, but it's not trying to. Instead, it focuses on streamlined depth. You're not fiddling with logistics or weather effects here. It's about battlefield puzzle solving with tanks and artillery. Panzer Corp 2 might not be the deepest game on this list, but it's one of the most satisfying, and it's probably the most playable if you're jumping into the genre for the first time.
WarPlan delivers a classic hex and counter experience on a grand scale, putting you in charge of the entire European theatre. You'll oversee everything from production and logistics to diplomacy and alliances, maneuvering massive armies, fleets and air units across meticulously detailed maps of Europe, North Africa and the Atlantic. You should play this if you're after a deep traditional wargame that focuses on the big picture without overwhelming you. Its elegant interface, supply system and realistic national differences make it perfect for players who want a grand strategy challenge that respects historical nuance, but stays playable and rewarding.
Hex of Steel next, and this one's a bit of a hidden gem. A hex-based World War II wargame developed by almost entirely one person, and honestly that alone is pretty impressive. But more than that, it's packed with heart, scale and the kind of flexibility that you rarely see even in much bigger games. If you've ever played Panzer General or Order of Battle, you're going to feel right at home here. But what Hex of Steel adds is sheer scope. Hundreds of scenarios, deep mod support and a global map mode. Co-op play and regular updates to boot as well. It's not the flashiest game in the world and the UI can feel a little bit homespun at times, but it makes up for that with pure content and strategic freedom. My favourite thing about this one is the accessibility. You can jump in quickly, but if you want to go deep with unit customization, strategic encirclements and long campaigns, that's all there too. It also has a certain charm to it. It's like playing an old war game from your childhood, but with modern systems stitched in.
Burden of Command blends tactical wargaming with narrative role-playing, putting you in the boots of a US company commander leading men through the battlefields of Europe. Beyond issuing orders on the hex grid, you'll make tough moral choices, balance morale, and shape the personal stories of the soldiers under your command. You should play this if you want a more human, leadership-focused take on tactical wargames. It's not just about winning battles, it's about earning the trust of your men, making impossible calls under fire, and living with the consequences. If you're looking for a wargame that puts character and command decisions at its core, this one's worth watching in 2025.
Attack at Dawn North Africa is one of those games that sort of sneaks up on you. It's a real-time operational wargame set in the deserts of North Africa, and while it looks relatively simple at first glance, there's a real elegance to how it handles maneuver warfare. You're commanding forces over vast terrain, Rommel style, and what sets this one apart is the clean, almost board-like game interface. No overwhelming stats or cluttered UI, just clear visuals and fast execution. It supports both real-time and WeGo models, which is always a win for the flexibility. It's not trying to be Hearts of Iron or a Gary Grigsby game, and actually that's its strength. It captures the feel of desert warfare, flanking, overextending, cutting supplies, in a way that's fluid and fast without sacrificing depth. My take is that it's ideal for players who want the classic World War II theatre without getting buried in spreadsheets. Online the reception's generally positive, especially amongst people who prefer operational level command without the complexity spike of more hardcore titles.
Just a quick interlude to say most of you who watch the channel are not subscribed, so make sure to go down below and hit that subscribe button because it helps smaller channels like us grow really quickly and both me and Tom really appreciate it. U-Boat is a World War II submarine simulator that immerses you in the daily life of a German U-boat crew. It's a survival sandbox with crew management mechanics, where the boat is both a weapon and a home. You'll oversee everything from navigation and torpedo attacks to crew morale and mechanical breakdowns, all within a dynamic open world sandbox. You should play this if you're seeking a deep, immersive submarine experience that goes beyond traditional combat simulations. U-Boat's emphasis on crew management, realistic damage systems, and non-linear missions offers a unique blend of strategy and survival. It's a standout title for those interested in the complexities of submarine warfare.
Now, Unity of Command 2 is a bit of a modern classic in the operational wargame space. It builds on the clean design of the original, but dials up the complexity just enough to keep veteran players engaged, while still being remarkably approachable compared to most other hex-based wargames. You're managing supply lines, weather conditions, terrain advantages, and what sets it apart is how readable and responsive everything feels. The map isn't just a backdrop, it's a living system where logistics, encirclements and momentum actually matter. What I like about it is that it rewards planning over brute force. If you cut off a pocket, that unit's doomed. And watching your moves and strategies slowly collapse an enemy position is more satisfying than any cutscene could ever be. Now, online sentiment is pretty consistent. People love the clarity, the UI and the balance between simulation and accessibility, and I'd agree with all of that. It's one of the few World War II strategy games that I can recommend to both casual tacticians and grognards alike without caveats. It's sharp, stylish and smart.
Castle Itter, the Strangest Battle of World War II, is a solo tactical game that recreates one of the most bizarre last stands of the war. US troops, German Wehrmacht forces, and French prisoners defending a castle against an SS assault. It's absolutely classic stuff and a true story. This is a card-driven, turn-based defense game where each counter represents a real person and survival depends on smart positioning, suppressive fire, and a bit of luck. You should play this if you're into tight, narrative-driven solo wargames. It's fast to learn, tense to play, and deeply replayable thanks to its escalating difficulty and historical flavour. If you like Pavlov's House or Undaunted, this one's a must-have for your 2025 collection. It's a real gem, and there's an awesome book you can read to back this one up, which I really enjoyed. The troop drops you into tense, tactical, platoon-level battles where every move counts. You'll command British, Canadian or German forces across tight, turn-based scenarios, choosing when to push, when to hold and when to flank, all with a clean, no-nonsense presentation that focuses on pure tactics. You should play this because it feels like a digital tabletop wargame, giving you full control without unpredictable AI quirks. With skirmish, campaign and battle group modes, it offers tons of replayability and just the right mix of challenge and accessibility for anyone who loves thoughtful tactical gameplay.
Moving over to something a little bit different now, we have Scramble Battle of Britain. It's a World War II strategy game that doesn't focus on ground warfare or long-form campaigns, but instead drops you straight into the command seat of fighter command during the Blitz. You're handling radar coverage, scrambling squadrons and tackling enemy raids in real time, and it feels tense, elegant and honestly pretty stressful in the best way. It's more about intel management and decision making under pressure than flashy visuals or complex mechanics. What I really like about it is it doesn't overstay its welcome. It's lean, focused and does its things really well, simulating the nerves of defending Britain with a limited air force and incomplete information. There's a bit of a puzzle game vibe to it, without losing that strategic weight. And while it's not for everyone, there's no bombast or big cinematic story. If you like systems-driven games that force you to think on your feet, Scramble is well worth the look. Especially if you want a game that lets you sweat every choice without needing to command 10 divisions at once.
Panzer Campaigns Normandy 44 Gold. When I reached out to a contact in the studio, they were very kind to send me 3 titles: Panzer Battles Battles of Normandy, Eagle Strike and Panzer Campaigns Normandy 44, which is this title. The difference between the 3 is that they have different scales. Some are at a squad level and this particular title works at the operational level. In fact, Normandy 44 is an operational level simulation of the D-Day landings and subsequent battles to move inland, fighting your way off the beaches. It features a whopping 96 scenarios covering all sizes and situations, including a solo tutorial scenario, plus specialised versions for both head-to-head and play versus the AI. The title is certainly deep, and to be honest, in the short time I've owned the game, I haven't made my way out of the manual yet. It's that intense. But doing my research and due diligence, this is one of the premier operational wargames about the invasion of Normandy. Graviteam Tactics Mius-Front is a deep battalion-level wargame that blends turn-based operational planning with real-time tactical battles. Set on the Eastern Front, it offers a detailed simulation where terrain, morale and logistics play crucial roles. The game emphasises realistic combat scenarios requiring thoughtful strategy and adaptability. You should play this if you're seeking a comprehensive and challenging wargame experience. Its commitment to realism and depth provides a rewarding challenge for those interested in historical military strategy, and the Eastern Front is always a fascinating conflict.
Right, Combat Mission Battle for Normandy, and honestly the whole Combat Mission series deserves a nod here. This one's a benchmark for World War II tactical simulation, the sort of game that doesn't just simulate units, but the fog of war, morale, line of sight and battlefield chaos in a way few others come close to. It's not flashy visually, it's a bit dated, but under the hood it's a beast. You're issuing orders in a hybrid system, real time with pauses or the full WeGo style turn-based system. Every move will carry weight. There's no fast forwarding to action, you're managing cover, angles and timing in gritty street level detail. My take, I think it's a thinking man's tactical sim. brutal when it wants to be, and brilliantly uncompromising. And while Battle for Normandy is often the most recommended entry, the other titles like Fortress Italy, Red Thunder, or even Shock Force all bring their own flavour.
SGS Overlord puts you in command of one of the largest amphibious invasions in history, the Normandy landings. You'll take charge of Allied or German forces across a turn-based campaign that captures the complexity of D-Day and the brutal push inland, all played out on detailed operational maps. You should jump into this one in 2025 because it's part of the growing SGS series, offering a fresh, accessible take on operational level wargaming. With its mix of card-driven mechanics, varied scenarios, and historical depth, it's a great way to relive one of World War II's most pivotal campaigns without getting lost in overwhelming complexity. Decisive Campaigns' Ardennes Offensive takes you deep into the Battle of the Bulge, blending operational strategy with tactical nuance. You'll command battalion-sized units across detailed 1 km per hex maps, managing day and night turns, dynamic line of sight, and the ability to form custom battle groups for flexible tactics. You should play this if you're after a rich, immersive wargame that rewards careful planning and adaptation. With intercept fire, weather effects, and a revamped supply system, it offers a level of depth and realism that sets it apart from other hex-based strategy games. Gary Grigsby's War in the East 2 is the ultimate Eastern Front wargame, putting you in charge of entire armies across an enormous, historically detailed map. From Operation Barbarossa to the fall of Berlin, you'll manage divisions, air forces, logistics and supply, and a turn-based system that captures the full scope of the conflict. You should play this if you're ready for a serious, heavyweight wargame that rewards long-term planning and historical precision. With its refined air system, improved AI, and deep operational mechanics, it's a must for anyone looking to tackle one of the most demanding fronts of World War II. Hearts of Iron 4 puts you in control of a nation during the Second World War, balancing military campaigns, diplomacy, production, and research on a global scale. Whether you stick to history or rewrite it entirely, every decision shapes the course of the war across land, sea, and air. You should play this if you're after a grand strategy game with endless replayability. Between official expansions, mods, and alternate history paths, no two campaigns feel the same. It's a sandbox for players who want to steer the fate of the world, one political move or armoured push at a time. War in the Pacific Admiral's Edition is the ultimate Pacific theatre wargame, a sprawling detailed simulation covering the entire war between Allied and Japanese forces. You'll manage fleets, air groups, logistics, intelligence, and ground operations across thousands of units with a map stretching from India to the US West Coast. You should play this if you're ready for a truly epic hardcore wargame experience. This is for players who love digging into the fine details of carrier strikes, supply chains, and long-term operational planning. It's demanding, meticulous, and deeply rewarding for anyone looking to reenact or rewrite the Pacific War in unparalleled depth. It's also available on the Matrix store, not Steam. Thanks for watching. I hope this list helped you discover a few new World War II games to check out. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, all that YouTube stuff. I also want to hear your comments and recommendations. I love to hear what you're playing. I've been Luke from LT Gaming, and I'll catch you on the next one.